Okay, I've obviously been asked to do more career videos on players in a variety of sports, so I did one on Muzzy Is It the other day. I'm now doing one on Luis Figo. Luis Figo is a legend of the game, possibly one of the best midfielders of all time, in my personal opinion. Now, his playing career starts the year I'm born in 1989 for Sporting Lisbon. So in the 89-90 season, that's his first professional contract at Sporting Lisbon, and he would go on and play until the 94-95 season with Sporting Lisbon, appearing in 129 games for the club and scoring 16 goals. So he's developing his skills as a creative midfield player. His goal scoring is a little bit on the low side compared to some of his contemporaries at the time. However, that will change. But his time at Sporting Lisbon gains the attention of some bigger clubs across the Iberian Peninsula, and he ends up at Barcelona in 95. He makes the transfer from Sporting to Barcelona, and he's there for 5 years, between 95 and 2000. He played 172 times for the Catalan club, scoring 30 goals. So his goal scoring is roughly the same. His goals per game average stays roughly similar. He plays a few more games in that period, and this is a reasonably successful period for Barcelona. And while he's in Spain, something happens. Okay, a very momentous moment, and not many players have played for both Barcelona and, you get it, Real Madrid. He is one of the few players I can think of who's played on both sides in El Clasico, and he earns a move in 2000 to Real Madrid, and this is the famous pig's head incident. Basically, Luis Figo, creative midfielder, he's taking a corner, and Barcelona fans are throwing their mobile phones at him for starters, and then somehow they've smuggled a pig's head into the stadium and launch a pig's head at him. That is the famous pig's head incident. But he joins Real Madrid at the time of the Galacticos era, as it was known, because they had all the superstar players. Now, he plays less games in the same amount of time, because Barcelona, he played more games, played 164 games, but his goal scoring actually goes up at Real Madrid. In 164 games, he scores 38 goals, so he scores more goals and plays less games. That is really, really interesting how his goals per game ratio goes up. And he also has a very successful spell as an individual at Real Madrid, and we'll get to the trophies he wins later. But in 2005, he's winding his career down somewhat, and Inter Milan, who are now the dominant force in Italy at this time, come calling, and in 2005 he makes the switch from Real Madrid to Inter Milan. This is at the time of the Calciopoli scandal, the match-fixing scandal which cost Juventus their title and allowed Inter Milan to win the title by default. So in his first season he wins Serie A, simply because the team that won it had the title taken away from them. He plays 105 games, so he's not playing every game at this point. Little niggling injuries are starting to have an impact. He's winding down his career, and he only scores 9 goals for Inter Milan. But in 570 appearances, he scores 93 goals. That's basically a goal every 6 games. And that's not bad, considering some of the players who won the Ballon d'Or, like Ronaldo and Messi, and all the goal scoring they score. Luis Figo's a different type of player. He really is a skillful midfielder with some silky skills, and he could tackle as well. He's a real all-round midfielder. So 93 goals from midfield is not bad. But then you look at his ratio at international level for Portugal between 1991 and 2006. He has 127 caps and scores 32 times. So his goal-scoring ratio for Portugal is higher than at club level. So he performs better for the Portuguese national side than his club sides. There could be a variety of reasons for that. Some players do step up at international level, other players are better at club level than international level and struggle on the international scene, but his goal scoring ratio is higher for Portugal. Now let's look at all the trophies he won as a player. In 1994-95 season he wins the Taça de Portugal, which is basically the Portuguese Cup for Sporting. His only trophy he wins at Sporting Lisbon. Really surprised that Sporting weren't winning more, but they were not the best side in Portugal at the time. He earns his move to Barcelona, so they win La Liga twice with him there in 97-98 that season and 98-99, so back-to-back seasons they win La Liga. They win the Copa del Rey in back-to-back seasons while he's there in the 96-97 season and 97-98 season. They win the Supercopa España in 96 while he's there. They win UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in 96-97. Yes, that was a European competition, and that is, apart from the UEFA Super Cup, that is the only European club competition they win in that period. Barcelona was struggling at the time in the other European competitions. They were not winning them, but he still won 7 major trophies as a player with Barcelona. The move to Real Madrid really surprised many. I think he's the only player to play on both sides in El Clasico. But he moves to Real Madrid. They win La Liga twice with him there in 2000-2001. and 2002-2003 seasons. They win the Supercopa of España twice in 01 and 03. They win the Champions League, and this is only Champions League winners' medal is in the 01-02 season. That famous Zinedine Zidane goal against Bayer Leverkusen in the final. They win the UEFA Super Cup in 2002, and they were playing that Intercontinental Cup competition in 2002 as well. Again, 7 major trophies. He obviously moves to Inter Milan. They get gifted Serie A by Juventus, being thrown out of Serie A following the Calciopoli scandal in 05-06. They repeat that in 06-07, 07-08, and 08-09. This is a very dominant spell for Inter Milan with four Serie A titles in a row. They win the Coppa Italia in 05-06 and the Super Coppa Italia twice in 2006 and 2008, which makes it, you guessed it, 7 major trophies yet again. This is a recurring theme. He won 21 trophies with 3 clubs, 7 of them at each. 22 trophies in all, if you count his trophy at Sporting, the Taça de Portugal. 22 major honours as a player is insane, especially when you're playing for 4 different clubs. This is not like he's like done a Messi or a Ronaldo and he spent a lengthy spell at one club. It's regular transfers. He stays at clubs for about 4 or 5 years, moves on. 4 or 5 years, moves on. 4 or 5 years, moves on. 4 or 5 years, retires. 22 major trophies across 3 different leagues. That is really hard to do. Unfortunately, Portugal, with Figo in the midfield, came close to winning, the Euros a couple of times. Didn't quite make it all the way. They got to the final in 2004. He was part of that squad, and they came up short against the Greek side that won in 2004. But club football, glittering, winners' medals and trophy cabinet. He retires from football in 2009, and he stays off the radar for quite some time. He's not really in the public eye until 2015, when he announced he was running for FIFA president against Sepp Blatter and others. He decided to run for FIFA president. He was in favour of expanding the World Cup to 48 teams. You can debate whether that's good or bad. He obviously wanted to grow the game to a wider audience, which is fair play. But he then withdrew from the race reasonably early on, citing he didn't want to have too much power. He felt that whoever was in charge of FIFA had too much power and there was not enough checks and balances in place. But he did run for FIFA president. Very, very interesting. But overall, possibly one of the best midfielders to grace the 90s and the 2000s. And his playing career up until 2009 was the same amount of time I've been alive. I was literally growing up watching this guy throughout my entire childhood and teenage years into my early 20s. This guy, Figo, I think he gets forgotten now, but you rewatch some of his highlight reels from the 90s and 2000s. He was a superstar player. And while he didn't score hatloads of goals, he still had 570 club appearances. And he just shade under 100 goals. It was I think he was roughly a goal every 6 games. So he's not the most prolific midfielder scoring, but he provided key goals at key moments in key games. And yeah, he won medals. I mean, he's won the Super Cup twice, the Old Cup Winners' Cup, and the Champions League. The only thing he's missing is the old UEFA Cup Europa League, and he would have had the clean sweep of European club football medals available at the time. It's ridiculous. But he also played for the Galacticos, and that was an era when Valencia were challenging and Deportivo La Coruña were challenging the stranglehold that Barcelona and Real Madrid, the El Clasico derby, had on La Liga. We're having that era return again, where Real Madrid and Barcelona aren't in the best of shape. They're not winning everything. So his career mirrors what's happening with football now. But Luis Figo, in my opinion, one of the greatest midfielders to grace a football field in the modern era. But place your thoughts below on Luis Figo. What's your fondest memory of Luis Figo? And thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.